Who was up, guys? So yeah, first siege they had MSTs and they had SOPs. MSTs being of course the Shana, Martina, and Triana, and then the SOPs being Sierra, Orion, Pernas, and they pretty much spammed just those two teams. That's literally the only thing they did. So this is going to be somewhat repetitive. But yeah, as you guys know, just a lot of artifact damage, very tanky stats, very good stats overall on those Tractor, Windy, and Lulu. And legitimately, if you bought 10 of those, you're gonna have a very boring siege, but you can do your siege with literally just 18 runes because, I don't know. Yeah, it's just OP. There's always something you can hit with this, always. So yeah, you know how this works. So I'm not gonna bore you with that much of this. I do have 2 of those teams right now, and if I am willing to build a third Lulu, I could build this even 3 times. And this is pretty much an insta win. That's why current seeds meta. I would say Windy is too OP. Would you guys agree? Like pretty much everything is counted by Windy. So yeah, like I said, fighting the SOPs. So what's the most consistent team I have? Or one of the most consistent teams I have? As 1 damage. Simple as that. Simple as 1 damage. So yeah, nothing too crazy going on here. I have seen this team lose from time to time if I miss like a lot of bombs and stuff, but it's kind of low odds. So with that said, we're pretty much already in the Gucci. Yay, predicting procs like a pro. As 1 damage, 4.8 Ks on a Perna that is armor broken. Nice. Then we have this team, which is just a pretty fun team, I would say. It works. It does work. It does quite some damage. The survivability is there. The odds of him screwing me over were kind of limited, I would say. So, with that all said, it's pretty easy. Pretty easy. Also, Brandia does hit like a truck. Armor break, no armor break. Still hitting like a truck. 4.4 Ks on an armor break as well. Not too bad, not too bad. Only 3.6 Ks on that one though. But that also does somewhat make sense because Perna, of course, is lower on defense than the Perna is lower on defense than CR, which does make the most amount of sense. And wait, how much? I should have done it on the right. I think I could have hit like close to 100k, would have been funny. So yeah, Braden, yeah, from time to time, pretty fun unit, I would say. Then we have one of those teams which I think we have been trying to run once or twice as well. If it is very fast, it could screw you over, but my Tiana and my Poseidon in this case were pretty fast as well. So odds of it going pretty bad here is kind of low odds, I would say. So yeah, with that said, easy GG on that one. Then we have one more of those SOPs, and you can clear it with a Wusa. It's just that your Wusa needs to be swift. So Wusa is like 118 base. Orion is potentially possible to outspeed it, I would say, but odds of that happening aren't too big. Also, like, even if you would outspeed, I think the odds are pretty decent that you still have like good win chance. Especially if you sleep like that. Yeah, now the question is, I will not have immunity on the next turn for that Orion, but I think it's fine. Actually, using that S2 is somewhat of a waste. Also, stunning that unit over there is kind of low, kind of limited. Plus, if this thing procs out right now, you might have an issue, or that thing procs out, you might have an issue. But as long as your Ganymede is quite tanky, you're still pretty good to go. So yeah, in the end, not that big a deal. Kind of made it look a little bit more struggling than it should be, but I would say this team is pretty fair and square, very easy to clear this kind of stuff. This is just also one of those overall teams. If you have these 3 units, of course they're not 5s, but if you have those 3 units, it's pretty much You can't use them as much anymore as in previous sieges, because in previous siege I was using this like every siege. But it's still one of those very solid teams that throughout like different metas, it mostly has like some kind of value in there. So it's always good to have this one runed up. Sometimes it's better with a Swift Wusa, sometimes it's better with a Via Wusa. In this case, it will be Swift. Then we have one more of those, so you already noticed I put up the speed thingy. These are actually more of a tanky Shiner Martina than the previous one. But yeah, not too bad as well. Not too bad as well. Was this one that got really wonky, or was it somewhere else? I don't remember. Don't think it was this one though. The only thing is it steals your shield at some point, which is somewhat annoying, but just keep hitting the main thing. It did have a few procs here and there in this case though, but... Also, if it stuns like multiple things, especially the Lulu, then it could get like a little bit of troublesome. It did do quite a lot of procs here. Like, legitimately, it had quite a lot of procs. So this is where it could get wonky if you get like that kind of attempt of like amount of procs. But the moment that one is dead, you already won. So this one I would say was more of a proc heavy team than the last one. It's also depending, like most of the time if they're very proc heavy and high damage, they also die really fast, or you need like 1 or 2 turns and the Martina's dead. But yeah, it could be that based on rune quality, artifact quality, and a few too many procs, that the Windy Tractor Lulu is not the safest of offense, but I would still say overall in general, with just average RNG, which is pretty bad RNG in most cases, it is very doable still. And then another match, which is a team I would not really recommend to use, but we were pretty much out of time and I didn't really feel like re-runing anything. And the reason being out of time actually mainly meant that, well, we already won and people couldn't use all of their contribution. So yeah, that was mainly that. So it just... Would this necessarily be a bad team? No. Could it go bad on very bad RNG? Yes. This is definitely something that could go very bad on bad RNG. So if you get Armor Broker on the Nigong, you could still die. I'm not sure if I would have won like a 2v3 without Nigong in here, for example. Or if I just get stun locked and I try to revive and it instantly dies again. There's a lot of things that could go wrong in this fight, to be honest. So with that all said, I did 7 wings. I could only do 7 wings because, well, not enough, because we already won. So we won in the end with an 84% win rate, which is actually kind of misleading because we had a way higher win rate. But since people didn't have their contribution in, we actually fed like a few people from AF Unleashed because they asked for it. And then they tried to fed like 1 or 2 people from us as well. So it is a little bit misleading on this, but we can actually, down below, you can see the win rate. So they had like 60, they actually had around 60 for most of the time. We had around like 94 for most of the time though. So for wins on defense, we had a few people with like pretty solid defense wins, which was pretty nice. We had 9, not bad. But here you can see like this was our win rate. So we had like the, yeah, they were pretty, this was at near the end. So they had like a pretty low, or we had like a pretty low win rate on here because we fed like a whole bunch of defenses. But in the most case, we had like somewhere around like 90 win rate, 90 win rate, 90 win rate. So yeah, that is that for that siege. Couldn't show all 10 hits because I didn't do all 10 hits. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Wait, I thought they would feed into one of our people as well. Apparently that one is not registered because maybe someone didn't update like all the way in the end. I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, we gave some people some free contribution because, hey, we're nice like that. We're not always annoying. We're just most of the time annoying. Either how, next match against Endless, and we will see how that one goes. So guys, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.